Who do you turn to for support? And are you turning to the right people? None of us can do everything on our own. None of us have all the answers. So we need a network of people who are going to give us a different perspective, who are going to challenge us, people who can act as a sounding board. But whether we do that is one question, and whether we have the right people to turn to is an even bigger one. I'd like you to do something for me. In a moment, I want you to grab a blank piece of paper. On that sheet of paper, I want you to write down the names of the 5 people that you would turn to first for support. Whether that support is advice or whether it's just a shoulder to cry on, someone to open up to vent to. Who are the first 5 people? They may be part of your personal network, they may be part of your professional network, they may be a mix of the two. But who are those first 5 people? And by each one, I want you to put a score out of 10. I want you to score them out of 10 for 6 areas in terms of how similar are they to you. If they could be your twin, it's 10 out of 10. If they're nothing like you at all, it's 1 out of 10. Those areas are age, education, background, job, interests, lifestyle. Score each of those out of 10 and then get a total of those scores and average them out so that you'll have an overall score out of 60. Pause the video, do the exercise, and then press play again so I can tell you exactly how to interpret that score. So what you should now have is an average score out of 60 for the top 5 people that you return to when you need help and support. A score that tells you how similar they are to you. If you've scored between 0 and 20, you've probably got a network that's going to constantly challenge you, but you're going to always be fighting against. If you've scored between 20 and 40, I think you've probably got a pretty good balance of support and validation with a different perspective and challenge. If you've scored above 40, then I think you're in your comfort zone. We need to be challenged. We need to be fed different perspectives. If we surround ourselves with people just like us, they've got the same experience. They have the same ideas, the same perspectives. We're not going to try anything new. And we're just going to get people nod when we ask, am I on the right path? Because we don't have any different experiences or expertise to tell us there's a different way. I interviewed recently James Cleverly. James, at the time I interviewed him, is the Deputy Chairman of the Conservative Party in the UK. And as part of that interview, I was asking James about a Conservative social care policy that led to a major problem for the party during the general election in 2017. The policy didn't resonate with the public. There were too many holes in it. And they ended up having to backtrack in a very embarrassing way in the middle of a general election. And I asked James what went wrong with that social care policy. And here's what he said to me. When the policy was being developed, it was being developed in a public policy vacuum. There were a very small amount of people working on it, very clever people. And as is often the case with a small team, you get some very effective work, but you get a distillation of the idea. So everyone kind of agrees with everyone else, who then agrees with everyone, who then agrees with everyone. It's really easy to get to a point where no one has unplugged themselves from the matrix and just seen what's going on in the world, just to double check. The importance of, as James put it, unplugging yourself from the matrix can't be overlooked. It feels great when everyone around us validates what we believe. That when they say that we're right, when they say that our experiences, our perception is the right one. But we do need people to challenge that. Said Business School at Oxford University brought out their CEO report. And there's a lot in that report that talks about the importance to any leader of doubt, of accountability, of being challenged. Here's one of the things that they said in that report. You need to have an enormous mindset of openness and learning, because however much a genius you think you are, you're still not a genius. There are other people in the system who know better than you many times. In the same report, they also say, one of the most important things is to have people around you to tell you how wrong you are. We need to make sure that, as well as surrounding ourselves with supporters, people who can lift us, people who can encourage us and champion us, we should also surround ourselves with people who will challenge us and think in a different way. Make sure you build a diverse network, and make sure you have people you can turn to whose opinion you may not necessarily want to hear, but whose opinion you may need to hear.